There's people out there who need us, but we're scared to call.
We have these people that have raised their hands for sale by owners and expireds, where we know the expireds, they tried a service with another company, our competitor, it didn't work out, and now we have their data available to us. It's right there on a platter. How can we not call them? If we don't call them, our competitors are going to call them. I mean, it's served up right there for us. And a lot of people are just afraid to go and say hello. They're just afraid. But I mean, that is, you're not only going to lose the opportunity of that particular seller, the person who gets that listing is going to put a sign in the front yard, and then that's going to attract additional listings. So you're going to lose additional revenue because you didn't connect with that one person. That's how valuable these calls are.
Call reluctance is a huge thing, and I actually struggled with this some at different times in my career, especially getting into a new industry and not knowing what I'm talking about, not having confidence. What I found is that there's a lot of baggage that a lot of people have that they have to deal with sometimes before they can get to the point where they can make those calls and do it consistently. And one of those things is how we feel about salespeople and the messages that were put into our mind and our brain, you know, at an early age from our caregivers or our parents or grandparents, whatever. Let's face it. I mean, I remember telling my mom I got my first sales job, you know, like, hey mom, I got this job at, you know, I think it was at a rent to own video store. Call my mom and say, hey mom, I got this. What are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna be selling. She goes, oh, that's great. That'll work out really well for you until you find a real job.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
sales was not a real job. My father worked for the government. My grandfather worked for the government.
Yeah,
People were not respected. They weren't esteemed.
right.
Right. So a lot of people have that in their head. So when they pick up that phone, they are becoming that very thing that psychologically they don't like and they don't want to deal with.
Exactly. Exactly. I have a video about reframing cold calling. You're not calling to take, you're calling to help and serve. If it to give, right? You're coming from a place of contribution. If you never transact with them, that's okay. Like I helped a woman get she was an elderly lady, she needed to get the vaccine when they came out. I helped her coordinate that. Didn't get a listing, but I don't care. That made me happy, you know. And they tell you not to call them again, you don't call them again and you part ways, you know, that's okay. But obviously we all need to earn money, but if you put money second and people first, it really does work out in your benefit.
You know, one of the most meaningful things, I used to have this sales coach. His name was Bill Art, lived in Sarasota, Florida. He said, Mark, if you had the cure for cancer, I mean, you were like in your basement lab, you came up and you put this thing, and you knew it. You gave it to your father, and its cancer went away, and you absolutely knew it, and you knew that this could, you know, you could help a lot of people, could relieve a lot of pain from a lot of people, and you went to a doctor and told him, I have this cure, I would help, you know, can you help me market this? Can you help me get it out in the medical community? He slammed the door in your face. Would you just quit and go home with your cure? And no, you'd go to another doctor. If you knew it was going to save people's life, you'd go to another doctor, another doctor. And he said to me, Mark, you have the cure to sales cancer. There's people out there right now, there's companies out there right now who need you, that they're going to have to lay people off. They're going to have to fire people if they don't fix things.
Right.
So you take that into real estate, call an expired or whatever. I'm not putting selling a house on the same level of cancer, but there's people out there in need.
Right.
I just closed on a house last week, which was a situation where there was 3 different trusts involved in this house. 2 trusts involved, you know, for the home, 1 trust for personal property. One sister died and transferred to another person. They had no idea what to do or how to do it.
Right.
They didn't know what to do. And the house was sitting there empty for 2 years, deteriorating, losing money month after month after month. After the wood rot got worse and the mold situation was worse, we sold the house. They needed my help.
Right.
There's other people out there just like that. I've sold other homes that were just coming out of probate. I called one woman, her mother had literally died the day before.
Oh.
Fortunately, there was a will, and so we avoided probate on that. But she had no idea what to do or where to go. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. You know, this is what I do. This probably isn't a good time. She goes, no, we have to sell the house. And there's people out there who need us, but we're scared to call. But they need our help. So somebody else is going to. So we have to get out of this mindset of, where, like you said, you have to reframe it. You got to get out of, I'm here to take from people. I'm here to give. And if you don't have a problem, we're going to have a nice conversation. I'm going to leave.
Right. Right.
And that's it. So I'm just every day when I get up, I want to be a problem solver.
Right.
I'm looking for people with problems that I can help solve. People say, oh, I'm a real estate agent or I'm a salesperson. I'm a professional problem solver.
I love it. I love it. I wrote a screenplay years ago, and I was working with the best coach. His name is Michael Haig in LA. And as we were done working together, he's like, okay, Mandy, now it's time for you to sell the screenplay. I want you to call production companies, agents, literary managers, and get it out there. I was like, well, Michael, thanks for the help. And I obviously love my story. I believe in it, but I don't feel comfortable calling people. He was like, no, you need to call them. You have a good story and they need to hear about it because they're charged with finding good material. That's their responsibility. So go help them, Mandy. And when he said that to me, like, I was just like, he's right. So I started calling people and I had some success. I didn't sell it. I haven't sold it yet. When he reframed it for me, I was calling from like a service perspective, and I wasn't calling because I was calling to take, as you said, calling to give. And it really made me feel more comfortable about doing it. And I'm hoping that people that are listening that are afraid of calling, they reframe it differently, and they come from a problem solving aspect, as you say, because that's what we do. And I think that's a great way to say it.
Like when I call an expired, and literally the first question on my mouth is, I see your home here. It was expired. It looks like it's been on the market for like, what, 120 days. Are you still interested in selling it? That's all I really want to know. If you are, then we'll talk. If you're not, then I'll ask you why. And maybe they have a legit reason. Lots of reasons. I mean, met people that were going to sell their house because they got a promotion and they were going to move to Louisiana. But when they got to Louisiana, take a drug test and they failed the drug test and they pulled the job offer and now they're not going. Are you going to talk that guy into selling his house? No,
Right.
you're not. You're not. Maybe 6 months later if he hasn't found a new job.
Right.
Right. But
Yeah.
sometimes real estate agents feel like if they're not Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Zig Ziglar, and Tommy Hopkins all rolled up in a ball, that there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
None of those guys were going to get that guy to sell the house either because he didn't have a reason to do it.
Right.
But we feel like if we don't get him to say yes, then we're a failure.
No.
Not the case.
No.
He no longer has a problem.
Right.
People do things when they have to. They fix problems that they have. If they don't have one, they usually don't move forward. So we're just looking for people with problems.
Right. People with problems, and we're trying to show them our value and that we're capable and that we're honest and we really want to help them. I mean, because that's who you want to do business with. Know, like, trust. They want them to know you. You want them to like you. You want them to trust you.
And people like people that are like them.
Exactly.